Do you guys believe that Facebook acts in any way in a partisan manner?
Oh, that's a very good question. The problem is when you do not have clarity, consistency, and transparency, there's no way to know. And certainly many people in the United States and around the world strongly suspect that Facebook is behaving in a partisan manner.
Interesting answer from the independent board that's kind of going after Facebook right now, or is, in some extent. We're joined now by the man who answered that question. Michael McConnell is one of the 4 co-chairs on the Oversight Board and voted in this case. He's also a former federal judge and now a Stanford law professor. And sir, we really appreciate you coming on the show.
Pleasure, I hope.
I know I'm sure you're a little nervous about coming on to talk about this. It just happened today.
Not in the slightest. I think that your audience and the American public in general should be very pleased with the direction in which we're moving.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. So just give us here the sense of who is on this board with you, how this voting process took place, and what exactly happened.
So this is a board of 20 people. It's going to be expanded, but right now 20 people from all over the world. Roughly a quarter of them are Americans, others from every continent. They include former journalists, lawyers, former judges, former deputy head of the European Court of Human Rights, former prime minister of Denmark, an extraordinarily diverse, and I like to say interesting group of people.
Okay. And you guys are independent of Facebook, but explain that to me, because you wouldn't exist without Facebook. I mean, how independent do you feel of Facebook?
So Facebook initiated this. This is a Facebook project, but what they realize is that they lack credibility, rightly so, and it's important for them to have an independent overseer. And so they appointed a bunch of people who are no patsies for Facebook. I mean, they're major people whose entire careers have been criticizing Facebook on this board. And we are not answerable to them. They are not the ones who pay us. It is true that they set the thing up, but they set it up to be independent.
Okay, fair enough. Facebook and other tech companies, at this point in society almost feel like a public utility. It's almost like having power to your house in some ways. You need to have social media, I feel like, in a lot of respects, to be kind of a member of society these days. They have no competition. They make decisions that can shun people out of this society that we have, this social media society that we have. And to millions of people, it seems as though these decisions are partisan. It seems like tech gives a lot of breaks to Democrats, gives them the benefit of the doubt if you're a leftist, but jumps on Republicans hard and fast. Do you agree that it feels like that?
Feels like that to many people. I have to tell you, though, that there are Democrats who think that Facebook leans and supports conservatives and was responsible in large part for Donald Trump's election. These points of view, everybody has their own point of view on this, and the problem is that Facebook is so they're so standardless. They operate in such a way with so little transparency that there's no control on them. Now, the point of the Facebook Oversight Board is to try to bring some consistency, including ideological consistency, to this operation. I don't defend Facebook. That's not my job. That's not my point. My point is to oversee Facebook and try to make things a little bit less arbitrary and a little bit less loaded.
And real quick, do you think Facebook made the right decision today? Or do you think the Oversight Board made the right decision today?
Well, I think it's an almost obvious decision. So, what Facebook did was they acted under real emergency circumstances. Sure. They took down some posts. They announced that they would continue the suspension for what they said was indefinitely, but at least 2 weeks.
Sure.
Well, what does that sound like to you? That sounds to me as if within about 2 weeks, they would consider what the future would bring. Instead of that, they just, without any further consideration, kept him off the platform and tossed the hot potato to the Oversight Board, hoping, I think, that we would take the heat, that we would make the decision for them. But that is not our job. We are not appointed to be content moderators or internet cops. Our job is to hold Facebook's feet to the fire and make sure that they apply their rules in a transparent, clear fashion, and that they rewrite the rules in a way that that enhances clarity so that users know where they stand. So that's what we're trying to do.
Understood. Michael McConnell, co-chair of the Oversight Board above Facebook. Sir, thank you so much for the time. Thanks for doing this for us. We do appreciate it. It's been very enlightening.
Good night.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.